This is the Raising Karter podcast. I am the host, Ramon Weatherall, Senior, and I got my brother Vern Starks with me. But the question we have for you today is, should you marry a woman that makes more money than you? So I got my opinion, my brother's got his opinion, and I know both our opinions, men and women, gonna side one way, side another way. So let's get into it. Uh I got 10 like talking points. I'm gonna give my opinion on it. V's gonna give his opinion on it. So the number one for should you marry a woman that makes more money than you is the communication challenges. Discussing the financial disparity. I don't think you should marry a woman that makes more money than you. And I'm not talking about a woman who makes $5,000 more than you. I'm not talking about a woman who makes $10,000 more than you. I'm talking about there's a gap. There's a significant gap into her making more money than you. She's making a lot more money than you. So that's my opinion that I don't think it's a good idea. I don't think it's gonna work, but hey, for each his own. But if it's gonna work, you gotta talk about the fact that you make a significant less amount of money than she does. And is she gonna be okay with that? She might be okay with it along you're trying to make more, you have aspirations to make more, so that's where you gotta talk. But if you just like, I'm cool where I'm at, what's wrong with my job? I ain't gonna take up all the time. What's your opinion? What's your opinion?
I think a man that makes less money should indeed marry someone that makes more. Because what I found out, because I've been in this situation um, before in my relationships. Are we trying to say that marrying someone and being in a relationship with someone, those are under the same umbrella?
Yeah, yeah, it's under the same umbrella.
Right.
Being
Yeah.
in a
So
serious
so I
relationship. Yeah,
right. So I've been in a relationship where my girlfriend made more money than me. But what I've come to realize in that relationship was just because she made more, she didn't have more, meaning in savings and all of that. You know what I'm saying?
right,
So you can make $50,000 more than your man. That don't mean that you have more money
right.
than him. You know what I'm saying? And I also think that as long as that man can foot his bill, like whether they agree on going half or she paid a mortgage and he paid all the rest of the bills or wherever, I think that as long as that man is able to do that, then there shouldn't be a problem. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. No, no. That's why we on it. That's why we chopping it up.
Hmm.
Now, I don't have a don't get me wrong. All the men out there, hey, if you find a woman that makes more money than you and she wants to marry you, I'm not telling you not to marry her. Don't get me wrong. Like I'm on some caveman stuff. Like no, don't no. I'm not. I'm just saying y'all need to talk about this. Y'all need to, you don't just go in it blind thinking, oh, it's cool. No, because it could go wrong for you. And I agree with Vern said. She might spend a lot of money and she just make a lot of money. That don't mean she have a lot of money. But that could be a problem too.
Hmm.
That comes under discussing like, okay, you make $200,000, but you spend like crazy, you know.
Hmm.
So that's that's something that people need to talk about. Okay, here's another thing: career aspirations. Like I said, she might be a woman that makes more money. You might be fine with you making less than her because you got aspirations and possibly can make more than her in the future.
Hmm.
So she'd be like, it could, either way. And it could be the fact that when you guys got together, you did make the same amount of money and her career took off. You know, I'm not, what you gonna do about that? You gonna be silly, and I don't think a woman's not gonna be fine with you just being complacent. She not gonna, you know what I mean? If she making all this money, she not gonna be fine with just you just being complacent. I don't think so. What you think?
When a man is making substantially less money than his woman or his girlfriend or whatever, I think that that man's ego has to be in check. Because a lot of time we as men, we want to be almighty and the head of the household and all that, and that carries a lot of weight, especially when you have a professional wife or professional girlfriend that's been out in her field for a long time and she's making a 100,000 or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
So the man have to be mentally and emotionally strong, because a lot of the times that works on you if you're not strong, because you basically feel like she's kind of carrying you in the relationship if you're not strong enough to handle a type of woman like that. So um, I would say, before you even venture down that road, you need to have your mental and your emotional situation in check for that
Yeah.
woman that's going to be in your life.
Right. Right. I agree. I agree. I agree. This one might tie into that family pressures, because if she makes more money than you, and then she tells her family, and they're like, they the pressure from her family might be, trying to say, well, why he don't make more money, because you never know, they might be asking for money too, so they figure, you know, you taking away from the money that they might be, that they want to ask for a lot of the time. So family pressure from I mean from both sides too, because your family might be like, okay, okay, son, y'all need to talk about this. It could go wrong for you. And I agree with Vern said. She might spend a lot of money and she just make a lot of money. That don't mean she have a lot of money. But that could be a problem too.
Mhm.
That comes under discussing like, okay, you make $200,000, but you spend like crazy. That's something that people need to talk about. Okay, here's another thing: career aspirations. Like I said, she might be a woman that makes more money. You might be fine with you making less than her because you got aspirations and possibly can make more than her in the future. And it could be the fact that when you guys got together, you did make the same amount of money and her career took off. What you gonna do about that? You gonna be silly and you know, leave, divorce the woman or break up with her because she make more money? No, I'm not saying that either. You guys got to talk about that. A woman's not gonna be fine with you just being complacent. I don't think so. What you think?
That can go both ways. Um, and when a man is making substantially less money than his woman or his girlfriend or whatever, I think that that man's ego has to be in check. Because a lot of time we as men, we want to be almighty and the head of the household and all that, and that carries a lot of weight, especially when you have a professional wife or professional girlfriend that's been out in her field for a long time and she's making a 100,000 or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
So the man have to be mentally and emotionally strong, because a lot of the times that works on you if you're not strong, because you basically feel like she's kind of carrying you in the relationship if you're not strong enough to handle a type of woman like that. So before you even venture down that road, you need to have your mental and your emotional situation in check for that
Yeah.
woman that's going to be in your life.
Right. Right. I agree. I agree. I agree. This one might tie into that family pressures. because if she makes more money than you, and then she tells her family, and they're like, they the pressure from her family might be, trying to say, well, why he don't make more money, because you never know, they might be asking for money too. They might be, that they want to ask for. A lot of the family pressure can be coming from both ends. That's another thing that can, hinder that relationship. When I say don't do it, I'm saying you got to think about all this stuff. What you working with, they want to know what you working with, what kind of money you got. Once it's talking about getting serious, family pressure from both sides can influence the relationship. Where you
That's the main reason. That's bullet point A. Keep family out of your business, because what they don't know, they not able to share, to kind of make it uneasy on
Yep.
the guy that's making less.
Hmm.
But in today's society, everybody want everybody to know everything. Family pressure is definitely a huge part of it. What are you prepared to do in a
Right.
moving forward?
And here's another point. Resentment, or it could be a potential like jealousy or type of an underlying resentment from the man, because you feel like I'm the man, you know you you doing everything, or things that you feel like you should pay for, she's paying for, and people are noticing, so you feeling under pressure and jealous. I want a new car, I want this and that, it's like, well, you can't afford none of that stuff. I could see it happening. You being jealous. And like you said, you gotta be able to check your ego way in the beginning. If you're gonna be dealing
Right.
with a woman that makes more money. A woman don't have to do that. If she may get with a man that make more money than him, she like, let's get it. She don't have to do
Right.
that. She ain't jealous. She like, oh yeah, I want this, I want that. You know what I mean? But you being a man, like you
Mhm.
said before, you gotta be able to check your ego. What you think about that?
That's very true, and that's why I said you have to be prepared for that type of woman, like,
Mm-hmm.
because it can easily break you, especially when you see her doing all this big stuff, like you said, buying cars, and she want to take all these trips and all that, and that you ain't built like that financially.
Right.
That can definitely do something to your ego, for sure. Make you resent some, like, damn, why did I even put myself in this position? I know I wasn't ready for this type of woman yet, but yet I did it anyway. Now it's all
Yeah.
falling back on you. So that goes back to you making sure that you ready to take on this type of woman.
Exactly. Here's another one. Social stigma. Like, listen, like you kind of listening to what other people, friends, and everybody want to post everything on social media now. You know what I mean? So you the fear of judgment. This one could be for both people, because she might have some type of fear, like people saying he only make, what do he do? You know what I mean? He a garbage man, like, you know what I mean? You know, and the man could be like, man, dude, like, hey, she must take care of you or something, like, you don't make, what I mean? So like you said it before, man, keep folks out your business. If y'all want that relationship to work, keep folks out your business. You got to be ready for all this. You got to be ready for. Are you? I don't think a younger me could really handle a woman who made lot more money than me. Now being older, yeah, I could, but we'll have to talk about all this. So yeah, like social stigma, being afraid of what other people got to say. What you think about that?
That's huge. That ties right in with the family part of it.
Hmm.
Your friends kind of judging who you with, and that getting the best of you, and now you rethinking the situation, like, damn, girl, you right. Sometimes I gotta put extra on this bill because he ain't covering in the wall of and all that. So yeah, that the social stigma part
It's
is
real.
real.
It's real.
Especially it all depends on what how strong she is too. Now if she know the dude that she's with and she kind of like tune that stuff out, then that'll make everything better. But nowadays they are listening to their little
Right.
best friend and they right here in their ear with rah, rah, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so it that's a big factor as well.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Here's another one. I got four more, but these is about to heat up. Financial control. Now, that this is in any relationship. How, like you said before, okay, maybe she pays the mortgage and you pay all the other bills or whatever, of being dependent on somebody or having somebody dependent on you, you
Mhm.
know, because a lot of women that just ticks them off just like that. Like, they having a bad day. Oh, I gotta do all this stuff for you. You like one, they get to talking to you like you one of the kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what's up with that? So
Mhm.
financial control. Are you is somebody gonna lose control when money start coming in? Like, what's your opinion about that, V?
I I think that that's a conversation that needs to be had prior to like moving in or buying a house or whatever. Like that's a conversation that needs to be had
A serious conversation.
sooner than later. Right. It can get sticky. It can get sticky. So whether y'all want to go 50-50 on all the bills or whoever make the most take care of the mortgage and the other person take care of all the rest of the bills, the food and all that, that's a serious conversation that needs to be had. You can't just go into it thinking like, oh, I'm straight. I can pay this and this and this, and since she make the most, she'll be okay with making it paying this. That ain't how
Yeah,
it's gonna rock.
yeah. Y'all gotta talk. Let's this a sidebar. This another question because I want to ask you this. Do you think a man isn't a man if he don't pay for everything, like all the household, like he paid for everything? I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't. That's BS to me. I don't agree with that. I don't. I hear that dudes talking that you living in Disney World, bruh, talking that stuff. But what do you think? Do you think a man you not a man if you don't pay
If you don't pay for everything,
everything? You she
I
don't gotta pay for nothing.
I think that's subjective to who the guy is. If you got a lot of macho dudes out here that want to do all that, you know, just to be like, yo, I take care of my woman and this is this I take care of everything. She ain't gotta do nothing but save her checks and all that. And I'm with you. That's garbage to me.
Right.
I don't believe in that. Um, because then you get a kind of sense of control, kind of. Because you taking care of everything, she can't do X, Y, and Z without you and whatever, and then you become a damn control freak. So no, I don't think you paying for everything makes you a man. You can still be a buster. You know what I'm saying? You just a buster paying
Right.
everything. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? No,
Exactly.
no.
Exactly. No woman you with should just want you to spend every dime you got on her. You with the wrong woman. She should want you to have nice things and be able to do stuff. No, that's garbage. We we
I
we
agree.
we killing that right now. Okay, back to the subject at hand. The power dynamics. If somebody's taking care of you, they feel like they can tell you what to do. If they taking care of you, they're gonna feel like they can tell you what to do. That's a recipe for a divorce or a breakup right there. What you think about that?
Because it's gonna come to a point where um you gonna try to tell her that you can't do this and this and this, and now the power struggle is real for real.
Mhm.
Now comes the oh, I make my own money. I ain't asked you to take care of me and X,
Mhm.
Y, and Z. So now it's a whole nother situation
Yep.
that you got to deal with. But again, that's the macho side of some dudes.
Hmm.
Like they want to have it as, like they hanging with their guys. Like, yeah, I take care of my lady. She ain't gotta do nothing. Like if that's the world you want to live in, then more power to you. But that that shouldn't that shouldn't describe you as a man because you don't
Right.
uh decide to do that
Yeah,
at all.
I agree. I agree. Like I said before, I think you should do as much as you can. You should do as much as you can do. But
But with that though, doing as much as you can do, it has to make sense though. Like it
oh
has to make sense
yeah,
for the other woman. Now, half of everything is the least that you should be able to do.
I agree. Some women don't wouldn't want you to, wouldn't want a man that does everything. You know what I mean? You got to know who you with. Some be like, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? This is I don't need you to do everything. And as being a man, you might be like, whoa, I'm here and I'm gonna do what I got to do too. So like
Right.
these are conversations that you gotta have if you're gonna be with a woman that makes more money than you. We talking about a woman now. We ain't
Right. For sure.
the the traditional gender roles. Most mature women are gonna when you go into a relationship with them, they're gonna be like, okay, I don't think I should have to pay for this or that or something. You know what I mean? I don't pay for, don't even think about me paying for a dinner or something like that. Don't even they're like, are you crazy? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's for or I mean, I'll be honest, my wife told me like I don't feel like I should, the mortgage is your responsibility. You know what I mean? I feel like that's the man's responsibility. I'm like, okay, okay. I don't have a problem with that. And if she makes more money than you, how you gonna deal with that? She might want to live in a house that costs way out of your league. Who gonna pay for that? That's my whole check. Like, you know what I mean? Like who? So the traditional gender roles come into play. What do you feel about that?
That is very true. And that's why it's so important, bro, to have these conversations prior to even living together,
Right.
because you already know what to expect. And um a lot of times I think in my experiences, and the women that I've dated or been with, they like to live outside of. But
That.
her girlfriend Keisha just got a new
Yep.
house, so
Yep.
she want to be like her homegirl
Yep.
and her husband, which
Mm,
makes more, and she trying to put their equation into y'all's, and it's not gonna fit. You got to do what works for you, man.
right.
You know.
Exactly. You make a great point. You got to get past all the little superficial stuff, not want to make each other upset or not really want to let this person know who you are and what you want. You want a $600,000 house? That's what you think you deserve? Maybe me and you ain't the right fit. You know what I mean?
I agree.
Maybe we not the right fit, you know? But if you don't talk about that stuff and now y'all in like really in y'all like searching for houses, it's gonna be a hot mess. Y'all gonna be fighting because you never you never talked about none of this stuff. And the last and final thing, ego and insecurity.
It's big.
His ego, that could be some of it. But then when I asked him, so you're fine with a man making half as much as you? Oh no, 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 oh no, no. Okay then, okay then. It's women want to be secure. They want some type of security. And a man, if he's gonna be with a woman, he wants to be respected. I don't want to be the clown. Everybody like, oh man, you heard what you know what I mean? Everybody, you go to parties, they like, oh, she brought one of the kids with them. They talking about you. So you said it in the beginning. This whole thing. I don't think a younger couple should even try to go down this road. You have to really be mature. The woman has to be mature, and the man has to be mature.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I don't know if you know you want to be Oprah and Stephen. I don't know what you go. You got to really be mature. What do you think? What do you think?
Um, man, again, I totally agree. But like you said earlier, that that woman wants to feel secure. That man wants to feel that same security. If they are in a relationship to where they're splitting the bills or whatever, and let's just say he get laid off or whatever, he wants to feel that security that I know for a fact that my woman got my back until I get
Mm.
back on my feet,
Oh
or
yeah,
while I'm living off of my savings or whatever. So that security piece goes both ways because I'm not getting into something with nobody that I don't feel secure in, that I know that if I fall on bad times, she
right,
gonna bounce on me. You know what I'm saying?
right.
So goes both ways. It's a deep conversational piece that needs to be had, man, before, like, during the dating stages. If before you even move in together in an apartment or a crib or any of that. Like, and I didn't even have these conversations when I first did it. But now looking back, you are absolutely right. This is a mature adult conversation that needs to be had. And like you said, a lot of younger couples aren't ready for that type of commitment.
I agree, man. That's a great point, man. And I mean, even some older people who aren't mature, like you said, dudes who, like the last topic we got, that got a big ego and that are really care. If you really care about what other people think, this ain't for you. If you care so much about what other people think, you're gonna crash and burn. You're not gonna be able to withstand this because you're gonna always think somebody's saying something about you or you. Nah, man. Like you said, keep other people out your relationship. But yeah, if you're a younger man and you thinking about doing this, I think we both can agree. Keep dating. Don't get married.
Yeah,
Just keep
yeah.
dating. You have your place. She have her place. Do that. Don't don't get married.
And so you touched on the Oprah and Stedman piece. This generation of guys are 1,000% okay with being Stedman. Like if they could stay at home and not do nothing, that's what they gonna do.
Yep.
So, and it's a lot of women that have dudes that are doing that right now. They may fill up the gas tank or put $30, $40 on the light bill or something like that, but that cat ain't putting forth no real money toward no monthly bills.
The soft guy era. You want to go out on a date? Well, hit my cash app. All that, yeah, it's dudes that's out here saying that. That's
Yeah,
a whole nother podcast. If you want to
it
get
is.
talk about that, we could do that. That's the next one, bro. So that was this episode of the Raise the Carter podcast. Should you marry a woman that makes more money than you? What's your final verdict on that?
Marrying, being in a relationship, a committed that you not ready to buy or to support her on. So do that do that research, man, before you know really involve yourself in a committed relationship or get married to that type of woman.